year I covered one of the best bang for your buck Hall effect keyboards, the Drunk Deer A75. I was impressed with its feel, sound, and overall performance. Now they're back with the Ultra edition of the A75, bringing some exciting upgrades. So today we're going to be checking out the new features, and I'll share my thoughts on whether you should be picking up one of these keyboards. So let's get into it. So the Jade Pro Magnetic Switch version is $143, and the TTC Palm Magnetic Switch version is coming in at $161. Both are on sale right now, but they will go up in price after that sale ends. So if you like what you hear in this video, I would definitely run over there and try to pick one up. In the box, you'll find some extra TTC switches to try, different from the ones that are already installed on your board. You'll get a theme cable to match the keyboard. Here you'll see the keyboard in its new form. I was really impressed by how it looked when I first picked it up. The speckled keycaps have a great aesthetic, and the case is made out of ABS, but has a nice gritty texture that almost makes it look like it's an aluminum case. There's a bluish purple bar on the back that adds a touch of style, and the bottom features the Drunk Deer logo. On the bottom, you'll find this ridge design, and it also has a single level of height adjustment on it as well. One thing to note is that there are no screws on the bottom of the Drunk Deer. They don't want you to open up the keyboard just like the first one, as they've already put in enough dampening. And I gotta say, honestly, I don't really feel the need to go in here and adjust the hollowness or sound of the keyboard. It sounds pretty good right out of the box, and that is one of the key strengths of this keyboard. On the top side, you'll find the multimedia dial, which lets you adjust the volume, and you can also press it down to like turn on music or pause it, or you can configure it in the software. The keycaps are ABS double shot in Cherry's original profile. They have a dense and heavy feel to them in the best way possible, adding to the overall sound and quality of the keyboard. They don't just feel like some cheap afterthought ABS option. It actually feels like they put some thought into giving us a nice quality keycap, and I think they had to do that with this whole speckled design on here. They had to go ABS, and these have been really impressive so far. I've been actually pretty happy, and these feel actually better than some of the cheaper like PBT options that I've seen in the past. They're very smooth to the touch without being slippery even. And you guys know I'd be complaining if these didn't meet expectations, but if ABS isn't your thing, you can always just swap out these keycaps. Now the switches also surprised me, but in a different way. Now this keyboard is hot swappable, meaning you can swap and choose whatever you want, but these have the Jade Pro magnetic switches in them, which I have here and have loved in the past. The Jade Pro switches sound deeper and richer compared to their usual high-pitched tone. I think that's thanks to the keycaps, the plate, and the excellent sound dampening in this keyboard. Now when I first got this, I didn't even realize they had Jade magnetics in here. They sound that good. They're actually quite thocky, they're deep, they're rich. I'm glad they also switched over to Gateron from the Resi switches that they were using before, because that opens a lot more options for us. We're not kind of pigeonholed to one type of brand. We can now use everything that's compatible with this type of Hall effect keyboard. So the actuation can go from 0.2 to 3.3. And so it doesn't have that 0.1, but from what I've seen, most pros have backed off and even lowered the actuation points anyways. The biggest change was the reset on the rapid trigger, which we'll talk about later. The keyboard also features plate mounted stabilizers, and since it's hot swappable, you can mod them if you so choose. All right, so once again, guys, I'm asking you to lend me your ears for a sound test. Let's do it. Oh yeah. Plate mounted stabilizers are solid across the board except for the spacebar, which could use a little bit of work, but it's not the worst that I've ever heard. Now that we got that out of the way, let's take a dive into the software, and I'll meet you guys back here for a talk afterward. All right, so we're gonna check out the Drunk Deer software. This is a web browser based software. Over here you can change the actuation point. I like to, for my WASD, choose it at 0.2 millimeters. The rest of the keyboard, all the other keys, and then deselect these, and I'll put those down to 1 millimeter. Then when you come over here, you can do the rapid trigger mode and select the different actuation points. So this can detect up to 0.01 millimeter, and this is the most important thing, because since it can detect this slight of a reset, it's going to be super quick in making you come to a complete stop and giving you that accurate movement. Now, the other one that is really popular right now is the Last Win. This is the Rappy Tappy for them. I like that they didn't just call it Rappy Snappy Tappy like everybody else, but they have Last Win here, which is you can set A and D here, and then set the trigger points for both of those, and it'll just prioritize the last key that you hit. So in a game where you can Counter-Strike, like in Counter-Strike, well, they took it out, but in Valorant you can still do it. It still works. So when you hit the opposite key, you'll come to a direct stop, and it cuts the transmission of the other key, making you super, super accurate. And this is a great feature to have. Then release dual trigger, you can have 2 and 1 for one key. So when you press it down, it's one action. When you come up, it's another one. I don't really use that. Then you put this turbo mode on, and this is going to give you the lowest latency possible. So yeah, nothing really too crazy with their software. Pretty straightforward. On the first page, I like that the performance is just here, rapid trigger, set it on. Change the actuations here, remapping and color. Pretty straightforward, and that's what I want to see. All right, so we're going to check out the rapid trigger mode where you just release and then you're going to be at a dead still. So in the graph, if you look at the right, we're getting yellow lines. That was a slight one I kind of messed up there. That was on me. Then we're going to do some dead zoning with the snappy tappy mode, or the Last Win mode as they call it. I'm literally, like, once I go to shoot, I'm tapping the other direction as I'm shooting. That means that I'm coming to a complete stop and then releasing. And as you see, it is perfect. So with these Drunk Deer keyboards, they do a really good job with the rapid trigger and with the Last Win, or the snappy tappy. So I believe most of you guys will be really, really happy with the performance of this keyboard. So the new update brings improvements to actuation and trigger resets. The original A75 could only reset after 0.1 millimeter, but now it can detect up to 0.01 millimeters. This means even snappier, even crispier movement with faster transmission cuts. That was the major downside to their previous model, and it's great to see that it's fixed here. I had a lot of fun gaming and typing on the Drunk Deer A75, and at the price point of 160 or 143 on sale, you're getting a keyboard that's ready to go right out of the box without any mods needed. The only mod I consider is possibly the stabilizers. That being said, if you like the 75% layout with the multimedia knob, this could be a huge selling point for you, because not every keyboard has that feature. Not every Hall Effect keyboard has that, but this keyboard does. Now, the J Pro switches sounded amazing on this keyboard. They're different than any other custom build that I've done in the past with Hall Effect keyboards. So yeah, I'm really impressed that they're giving us a different experience with this keyboard. So people love the first one, and I did too. This version just improves on everything that was happening with that one. Even though we do have a lot of options when it comes to the Hall Effect keyboards, like the Wu-Ting, that is up there in price. I like that we're getting some kind of budget options for a lot of you guys out there in different form factors with multimedia keys, different layouts. So yeah, we are getting a lot of Hall Effect keyboards, but there is some variety, and I think Drunk Deer capitalized and tried to make this as different as possible, own unique keyboard, and I think they've succeeded. So there's that. All right, so that's gonna do it, guys, for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, I'm gonna leave some other relevant content here. It has been your boy BT. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.